All right, guys, so here's quality from the Pixel 8 Pro on the bottom and the S24 Plus on the top. And now both of these phones are displaying the colors extremely well. The Pixel just happens to be just a hair. I mean, so much, it's just by a smidgen that the Pixel is displaying it just a tad bit more to my liking. They're so close. Yeah, this is really, this is too close to call, actually. I can't even, it's incredible. They both are displaying these colors so accurately on this particular video. It's incredible. So, man, I might have to call this one a wash. The Pixel screen, though, looks like it's given a deeper color for the actual car. This car is this is about 24 Mustang. It's a deeper red. It's called Rapid Red. The Samsung, as we know, makes things a little bit more punchy, but it still looks great. But it's such a close, it's really close. I give it to the Pixel by just a 0.5 in this particular scenario. This is incredible that both of these phones look so good displaying this video. Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, what do you think? I'm letting you look at this, and you can kind of see exactly what you're getting into. I don't know if you can tell over video that the Pixel is a little bit more punchy, like as far as deepness and colors, and the Samsung is a little bit more bright, making it look not washed, but just brighter than what it actually is. And that is just what it is. So I like them both. It's hard to decide, but I do give it to the Pixel by, it's a wash, but it has like a 0.5 to the Pixel, like I said before. So now let's move on to other parts of this comparison. But what do you think? Can you tell much difference over video? This is being recorded with the Galaxy S24 Ultra, by the way. So let's move on. Now let's take a look at hardware. Now, just to be clear, everything in this video is subjective. I'll try to be as objective as I can, but this is just my opinion. So either you're going to disagree or you're going to agree. That is definitely up to you. But hardware-wise, we're going to talk about this now. So here's what I feel about the design and hardware. The Pixel, the S24 is the challenger here because it just came out recently after the Pixel 8 Pro. So here's what I like about the Galaxy S24 Plus over the Pixel 8 Pro. I like the brushed aluminum sides. Love this. I just love no fingerprints. It's just a beautiful thing. It's really nice. You can see some smudges on the back, but it's not noticeable like if it was a black phone. The design of this thing is really good. It's uniformed, basically. Straight down to the camera modules. You got 1, 2, 3. I'm a war veteran, so I'm used to uniformity. And this is a completely uniform device. I really like the brushed aluminum sides on here, the flat display. It's all there. It's very uniformed and almost tamed, if you will. Now, when you come over to something like the Pixel 8 Pro, you can get this device in different colors, but I don't have any other colors because my wife bought the same color as me, and this is mine. But as you can see here, I have Minty Fresh, I have Bay, I have City, and there's tons of different colors you can get for the Pixel 8 Pro. But the sides, the aluminum brush sides, I wish they would have done that to the Pro models and not the smaller variant, just the regular models. So the stainless steel sides on here, I'm definitely not a fan of it. But all the color options that are offered by Google, to me, are much better. Like, again, I just happen to have my Bay here as well, and my Minty Fresh. These are just beautifully designed devices. And the camera modules are, very eclectic, very different. So, Nexus 6P different. So I like this design better overall. And this also feels better in the hand than the S24 Plus. With the flatter sides, this is the disadvantage that you get if you like the way things feel in your hand. The smoother sides on here, plus the rounded corners, are great. But I do like the design of both of these devices. But the S24 Plus, the brushed aluminum sides are just killing it. I love it. But the overall design of the Pixel is definitely better in my opinion. And they both have, let me unlock it here. They both have flat displays, and it definitely comes down to preference for this, but the S24 Plus, these both have tempered glasses on them. The S24 Plus and the Pixel 8 Pro are just well uniformed. I like them. They both look good. They both have beautiful displays. This is a pretty decent matchup because they're close in price and everything. We're going to talk about that too. But the overall design of these, I have to give it to the Pixel once again, because while this one, I love the brushed aluminum sides, this is way more eclectic, and it comes down to style and things like that. Now, granted, my daily driver is both of these, so predominantly this S24 Plus, but at the moment, you know, this Pixel, just the overall feel in hand, because it doesn't have flat sides, it just floats and feels soft in your hand. It's really nice. It's just a beautiful thing. So hardware and design, I do give a point to Samsung for their overall design. It's very beautiful and a nice upgrade from the other devices, but still, Google really knocked it out the park. Now, when it comes to software, features and options and things like that, it just really comes down to what you prefer. One UI 6.1 is just overloaded with a ton of things. I mean, while it is not, remember I'm recording with the S24 Plus, while it doesn't have, this is my S23 Plus, while it doesn't have the S Pen suite, it is still loaded with pretty much the same software minus the S Pen suite. And that's the only thing. So when you pop open this S Pen here, you get a suite of different things. And, you know, I used to say it was kind of overkill sometimes, but Samsung knows what they're doing. Being able to access all your apps in a side panel like this, it's super cool. How often do I use it? Absolutely, probably never. Unless I'm showing it on video, I just go directly to the apps. The apps that I have on my front page here is what I predominantly use. So it's just a matter of preference. So well, I like One UI, and I can, okay, just to be clear, I can scan the Samsung the same. I can turn on the Samsung scan here, and it'll apply it. And now I'm themed up just like the Pixel. So this is because of stock Android features and functionality that you can do this on other Android devices now. But you know, it just comes down to a matter of preference. Do you want to have a ton of software at your disposal, even if you don't use it every now and then, or do you just want to have what's essential to you? And while I say a ton of software, Google's software is feature packed. It's just not in your face like Samsung. So Samsung tends to promote certain things on their software, but when Google does it, it's kind of, they call them feature drops. And that draws you back into, so Samsung doesn't promote the same way as Google with their features and options. Google does it a sweet way. They do it in a feature drop. So once a month, something's coming, or just whenever they decide to drop something. And the good part is everyone's going to get it. Depending on what Pixel you have, I think everybody pretty much is going to get it, especially if you have the latest Pixel. So features and options, I would dive way in, but I don't see the purpose of me doing that because these are two different styles of Android. This is kind of a skin, if you will, on top of Android. Some people say it's not anymore, but if it's not stock Android, it's just not stock Android. But, you know, overall performance, though, performance is good on both. Performance is good. For social media, you're just kind of going in and out of different apps like that and looking at YouTube and stuff like that. So earlier I showed you the displays on these things, and the displays on both of these devices are beautiful. The speaker volume, let me show you the speaker volume on each one real quick here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this one up. So with this car, when just regular riding, it's got that lowrider feel. Like I used to have hydraulics on my, I used to have a lowrider back in the day, and that's how it feels when you're riding sometimes on a road that's kind of bumpy. All right, so that's the Pixel. I listen to Samsung. So with this car, when just regular riding, it's got that lowrider feel. Like I used to have hydraulics on my, I used to have a lowrider back in the day, and that's how it feels when you're riding sometimes on a road that's kind of bumpy. So what you see here is that on the Samsung, when compared to Google's the Pixel 8 Pro for volume, the Pixel 8 Pro sounds like it has more tone. Now, you can't really tell over video. I didn't hold it up to the microphone. I didn't do anything like that. But you can't really tell over video. And you just need to hit a store, Verizon, AT&T, Best Buy, whatever. Well, not Best Buy, because it will be too loud in there more than likely. But they'll still give you some sense of the speaker volume on here. The Pixel is a lot louder, more tone, and it just got the deepness to it that I think I like. While the Samsung S24 Plus is definitely loud and clear, it's more tinny than the Pixel 8 Pro for the tones and everything. So it just sounds really good. So performance on here, the Samsung performs, like if you look what I was trying to do there, I was trying to get it to go into pinch it out. And for some reason, this video won't pinch on this one either. I don't know what's going on. This video's trolling me right now, so it's all good. Video's trolling me. That's what I thought it was the Pixel, but overall, what I've found is what I'm going to say is that the Snapdragon processor, the latest one that's in the S24 Plus and the S24 Ultra, it runs much smoother than the Pixel Tensor chip right now. The Tensor chip is fast and everything, but it's more of a, I don't know, it just feels sluggish next to the Snapdragon version. I don't know what it is. Even though it's fast, it feels sluggish. It's weird. I can't put it into words. Like, it's not a sluggish, slow chip. Performance on the device is fast and fluid. Yeah, but sometimes I see like a stutter or something. I don't know. I can't put it into words. Yeah, I don't know. The Snapdragon 8 Gen that's currently out right now in this S24 Plus and all the S24 lineup and every phone that has it, I'm pretty sure it's running fast. The Tensor chip, it runs smooth. But when I compare them side by side, I definitely give the edge for that to the S24 Plus. The performance on here has never let me down. And not that the Pixel has either, but the Pixel is plagued with stuff. People are still saying they have heating issues and stuff like that. People ask me about that with other phones other than I mean, my iPhone 15 Pro tells me, hey, you need to let your phone cool down before you continue recording. When I'm outside in 90 degrees, it tells me that all the time. But it's not, the phone doesn't shut off or anything like that. And the Galaxy S24, I haven't experienced that yet. But the Pixel, I definitely have. Recording in very high heat, I've experienced it, but it's not enough for me to run to the internet and say, oh my gosh, my phone's falling apart. That's not what I do. I just report it to you when it comes up. So, but that hasn't happened to me so it happened at the beginning, and that's pretty much just it. I haven't had any issues with it or anything like that. So, let's move on to battery life. Here's where the S24 Plus just does better. I really don't know how to say it. When I get into like any other way, like there's definitely just good battery on this thing. So I'm definitely getting a couple days out of here. Now the Pixel will read higher probably right now because I don't have my SIM card in it. Yes, there is an update. It's going to read higher because, it's going to think, hey, this guy's, got great usage out of it, but in reality, I just haven't used it in quite a long time. As you can see, the only thing I've been doing was YouTube and a few things there and updating it. But overall, the battery life, there's no other way to say it. The S24 Plus battery life is better. As you can see, I don't have that protection battery. I don't have any of those things on. It literally lasts me 2 days every time I use it, pretty much. The Pixel can last 2 days, but it's not. It's stretching it, I'll say. And so Pixel owners, if you have the Pixel 8 Pro, you should notice that it's kind of stretching it a little bit with the battery life on there. If you decide to, why does my phone keep switching? This phone keeps switching to light mode for some reason. I keep putting it on dark. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, yeah, battery life on the Pixel 8 Pro is good. Not as good as the S24 Plus. So 2 days for sure. Day and a half over here on the 8 Pro. And some people don't even get a day and a half or 2 days on either one of these devices, depending on what you're doing. So just that discussion on the battery life. Now I'm gonna record something real quick and I'm gonna play it back on these devices for camera quality. All right, so I'm gonna play these videos. I went back and recorded a video real quick and I wanna show you here what it looks like. Now, if you look at these, you're going to see that Samsung's device over here is producing a much deeper black in this setting right here. And then the Pixel is giving more of a true to life, I guess I want to say. A true to life, what it actually looks like. For the color of the dog, she's a black dog, but we're out in the bright, so it's, you know, the shades and stuff are going to look different. The S24 is doing great. It really is. Now, that being said, if I'm going to use one of these to record, that's just a quick sample, folks. That's just a quick sample of something that went in the backyard. Let's be clear here. I definitely like the S24 Plus video cameras better. The app for this phone, I've said it a bunch of times, like there's just way too many things inside of the S24's camera app, and then also the quality. The quality on the Galaxy S24 Plus is outstanding. I mean, I'm using the Galaxy S24 Ultra right now to record, and if I were to switch, it would be the same thing. You wouldn't even be able to tell. I can guarantee you, it's just that good. Not just the camera suite and the way it's done on the Galaxy S24 lineup. It's more of the functionality. Like, you know, Google has a great camera system here, but only having 1080p and they're calling it blur, only having just that. This is the settings right here, and then when you go into Samsung, and I'm on this right now because this is what's great. You have all these different options for your portrait video, and you can also switch from 4K to 1080p if you want to. I leave it on 4K, obviously. You can control your strength. It's just a lot going on here. And I think Google is going to need to adapt. They're going to need to adapt a better camera software suite to compete with Samsung. And it's going to take a while to catch up, or they can go ahead and just do it in one fell swoop. But reality is both phones give great quality. But like I said before, there have been heating issues with the Pixel 8 Pro in the past. And it probably would happen again, probably current day, if I, you know, pushed it to the limits and took these both out on a sunny day and said, hey, you know, I'm going to just shoot both of these with the same video at the same time, the Pixel 8 Pro probably would overheat. I've never had an overheating issue with the S24 lineup or the S23 lineup so far. So I'm hoping that Google addresses that when it comes to the next version of the Pixel. Not being able to record, like my iPhone can record unlimited 4K 60 or the highest frame rate and highest quality until the phone just stops recording. Now, while I've gotten warning messages on my iPhone, it still lets me record. It still lets me take photos. It lets me do everything. It just wants me to let the phone cool down. It recommends that I let the phone cool down. But this device right here, I've never had an issue with any kind of recording. Now, I'm not saying that it won't happen. It could happen, but if it does, I'll report it to you. So video quality, pictures definitely go to the Pixel, obviously. And video quality on the Pixel is now on par with the S24 lineup. However, the limitations of the chip inside the Pixel is what kind of limits it probably from having, or Google just feels like maybe all that software is not necessary. Maybe they feel like customers don't really want that. I don't know. But I would love to have a full-fledged suite like I have on the S24 Plus on the Pixel 8 Pro. And I would like to see 4K recording in portrait video. Like just certain things I just would like to see. So let's talk about price. Now, here's where things kind of differ. You can get both of these phones on discounts. Yeah, you can get them both on a discount, and that's just what it is. So whichever one gives you the best discount at the time, that is what it is. Take it, because they're both great. You might prefer Samsung's UI over the Pixel's UI. I don't know what you would prefer, but you know, a quick spec rundown as I get out of here. I'm gonna give it to you now. Here's what you're looking at. So you've got large displays on both, like big displays. You've got a 6.7 over here, and you got a 6.7 over here. You've got 120 hertz HDR10 compliance, 1600 nits, 2400 nits peak brightness on the Pixel. But then you have a dynamic, and this is OLED, by the way. You have a dynamic LTPO AMOLED 2X, 120 hertz HDR10 plus 2600 nits peak brightness. How often will you hit that peak brightness? I don't know. But there's a difference in these devices right here. One is 20 by 9 and the other is 19 by 9.5 by 5. So the Pixel is more narrow basically, and the Samsung is a little bit wider. That's all. And you can physically feel that and see that too. So for the pixel count people, you've got 513 on the S24 Plus and 489 on the Pixel. Now they both have Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2. They both have always on displays. They're both running Android 14. This is the Tensor chip. Excuse me, man. This is the Tensor chip G3, 4 nanometers. This is the Gen 3 4 nanometer chip from Qualcomm. So again, with the chip, the Qualcomm runs smoother in a lot of areas when you're doing things, and that's just what it is. So with the Pixel, you have 12 gigs, 128 gigs of storage. You have 12 gigs throughout all of the options. So you got 128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte options on the Pixel 8 Pro. And on Samsung, you just have 12 gigs across the board, but you only have 256 gigs and 512. So if you want a terabyte device, you got to move up to the device I'm recording with, which is the S24 Ultra. So they both have 50 megapixel main shooters, but the Pixel is f1.7 and the Samsung is f1.8. And the Pixel takes way better photos in a lot of situations, but it's just going to come to personal preference. But I feel like the Pixel does way better in pictures. And while the video is phenomenal, the Samsung can do 8K video, and it actually looks really good. It's super clear. You downscale it to 4K, and it's going to be even sharper. So, but the difference is you have a telephoto lens over here at 48 megapixels. Then you have an ultra wide 48 megapixel shooter as well. And over here you have a 10 megapixel telephoto with a 12 megapixel ultra wide. So while the Google Pixel 8 Pro definitely packs a higher punch on paper, it simply comes down to what you're doing with your device, which is going to be photos and videos. And to me, I give the edge to video to the S24 Plus, like I said, and pictures, the Pixel. So one area where the S24 Plus I didn't show is the front camera. It is worlds better, in my opinion, than the front camera on the Pixel. So after that, you have stereo speakers on both. Ironically enough, the Samsung tuned by AKG doesn't sound as good as the Pixel, in my opinion. But that's just me. The fingerprint reader on the S24 Ultra appears to be a lot faster because it's ultrasonic and not optical. Google, please fix this. You have things like Samsung DeX, Samsung wireless DeX. Again, that goes to the feature pack software of the S24 lineup. And that's just the Samsung One UI lineup. It is just feature packed. So software-wise, I prefer stock Android, but Samsung has so many things packed in. How could I not give it the edge? Now, a 4900 milliamp hour battery versus a 50 milliamp hour battery, but the Samsung still charges faster and gets better battery life. And that's going to come down to the way Samsung has optimized One UI 6.1 on this particular device. It kills it in battery, so it's really good. And last but not least, which one do I prefer? Well, I prefer the performance of the S24 Plus, the camera suite on the S24 Plus, and just the battery life on the S24 Plus. The Pixel is just some might say I need to compare this to the Galaxy S24 Ultra, but I don't know. I think this is a good comparison. They're closer in price, and they're basically slap-style devices, but there's a lot I prefer on the S24 Plus, and there's a lot I prefer on the Pixel. I just prefer stock Android as a whole. It's just so cleaner and simpler, but I wish Google would go, they have to fix this chip to where it feels fast. Like, it doesn't feel as fast when running it next to the S24 Plus. So there you have it. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed the comparison some of you guys have been asking for, and it is done in my humble opinion. I think both of these phones are great. The S24 Plus edges it out just in a few more ways than the Pixel can stand. So hardware and everything is better on the Pixel in my opinion. Like I said, both of these are great devices. But which one would you pick? It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.